The Bliss Business Podcast, the show about empathy, connection, and consciousness in business. Today's episode is brought to you by Zero Company, your paid search, social media, and programmatic ad experts.
Welcome back to the Bliss Business Podcast series, Marketing with Purpose. This is a show where we explore how to build brands that connect deeply, communicate authentically, and grow with intention. I'm Steven Zagash here with my co-hosts Tulio Siragusa and Mike Liskey. Hey, guys.
Hey, Steven.
We're here on purpose.
All right. Yes, we are. So in today's episode, we're going to explore a shift happening in the world of marketing leadership from the traditional CMO to the category architect. What's the difference and what does it have to do with purpose-driven marketing? Let's unpack it.
So let's start. I'm gonna cut that out. Let's start by being honest about something. The role of the traditional CMO has been in a bit of an identity crisis. In fact, for years, CMOs were measured by short-term metrics, leads, conversions, cost per click, ad spend efficiency. If you're in a B2B company, maybe how well you did with analysts and things like that. But the job has become very tactical, executional, and in fact, very often reactive.
Yeah, Tulia, it does feel like it's in a sad state. So exactly as you mentioned, and really traditional CMOs have often found themselves as glorified campaign managers or scrambling to prove ROI for the board on some sort of 90-day cycle, trying to hit some kind of a earnings cycle or earnings report. And then in the process of that, they lose the opportunity to really lead the bigger narrative of the organization, the why that company exists. And unfortunately, they also miss out on the opportunity for the movement that is really behind the brand.
Yeah, and that's where many brands go flat. They kind of sound like everyone else, right? They compete on features, on discounts, on speed, but not on meaning. And meaning is really where loyalty lives. And that's where evangelists are made from your brand.
Exactly. And the problem isn't necessarily the CMOs. It's the expectations that have been put on them, but it goes both ways. So what's the alternative? Well, the alternative is the category architect. This is the purpose-driven marketer who isn't just trying to win a market. They're actually trying to shape one in some cases, or in other cases, reshape one. So they're not just selling to an existing category. They're defining a brand new category based on the belief system and worldview are fundamental human insight that is unique to the brand and unique to the needs of the customers or prospects they've identified in that marketplace.
You hit the nail on the head, Tulio. That's the key difference right there, right? That the category architect is really building a movement behind their brand. They don't just say, here's why our product is better than the next person's, right? They say, here's what's broken in this particular industry, and here's a better way forward for handling that. It's really an invitation to the customers, right, to the whole marketplace to join something that's bigger than just that one single purchase.
Yeah, this is where purpose becomes powerful, because when you architect a category around your why, you position your brand as a mission, not just a vendor. So people don't compare you side by side with others. You're not one of many. You're the only one doing it the way you do it, right? So let's look at a few examples. Think about what Salesforce did with the end of software. They didn't market themselves as a better CRM. They created a new category of cloud-based business platforms. And the tagline was clear, bold, and purpose-driven. No software, that's architecture.
A home run for sure. And so now let's consider another brand, Liquid Death, which many of you might be familiar with. I know certainly our kids are, right? And what they're doing, right? So they don't just sell water. They sell an attitude, a movement against plastic waste, a parody of extreme brand building, without a doubt, right? They've architected a category that said water can be punk rock, and definitely stand out in that marketplace. So whether you love it or not, you without a doubt remember it.
Exactly. And that's what makes these examples stick, is that they're rooted in a belief, not just a business plan. That belief becomes the rallying cry for the brand and the magnetic pull for the audience. And even Steve Jobs was famous for this, with the commercials. The crazies are the creative ones willing to change the world. Their product wasn't even that great at the time, but they created a community of creative people and fun people and those who are willing to break the rules. And that community paid off big time.
Yeah, and I like that concept, Mike, that water can be punk rock. I mean, it kind of just gives you the North Star right there, right? How are we going to do this? I don't know, but we're going to do it differently. So let's talk about how do you move, from marketer to category architect, like, especially if you don't have a huge team or unlimited time. I think that's where our platform aiCMO comes in. I think we come in and we come at it in a few different ways. So we have a lot of tools that help, differentiate you. And we have creative campaign brainstorming sessions as well. And so we're coming at this in multiple ways.
Yeah, I'd say it absolutely helps you start in the right place, right? So aiCMO helps you define your purpose, which is one of those key foundational pieces. It'll distill into a core brand belief and then apply it consistently across every one of your channels. Right. It's not just about generating more content because, today in the day of AI, that's easy to do. Right. It's really about creating cohesion and emotional resonance based on your purpose.
And once your belief system is clear, then aiCMO helps you activate it through storytelling, through campaigns, and aligned messaging that tie into your deeper why. It's built for marketers who want to lead movements, who want to lead categories, not just manage metrics. So that's why it's a perfect tool for those who want to take on the role of category architect in their marketing. And I just wanted to add about beliefs. Even in coaching and neuroscience, beliefs shape what we end up doing, whether it's limited or expansive. So even as individuals, our belief could be limiting or it could be expansive. So in business, it's the same thing. And so by having a strong belief that will drive everything you do and having a tool that can help you define it is so important. It's so key. It's like having a coach that helps you develop that, at your fingertips.
And I do want to just throw in real quick. We're not saying that, metrics are not important, right? As a performance marketing agency, metrics are critical, right? Both for us and for our clients, but you can't miss this other, key component.
Yeah. And I like that point too, you made on like your beliefs can be limiting. And I think that's really when it gets down to with category architect, right? Is you're coming into this category and thinking, I want to get, X% of market share or something like that. And it's really, you end up being the same thing and you're not really advancing your company in a way that could grow with hyper growth. It's by redefining a whole new category, right?
Without it, it's a zero-sum proposition. You're just taking a slice of the pie. When you create a new category, you got a whole new pie you're creating. It's a very different approach to the market.
Yeah. So to wrap this up, traditional CMO manages a brand, and the category architect builds a worldview, one that focuses, like we said, beyond market share, and builds really what is mind share, right? So, and that's where modern loyalty kind of lives, is in that shift.
Yeah, and if you want your customers to follow you, I mean, not even your customers, right? Maybe it's even your competitors, maybe it's reporters, right? If you want them to talk about you,
your employees,
yeah, right. If you want them to believe in you, you need, to do more than just, the old tactical marketing, right? You need a mission. Keep your competitors up at night, right? And that's exactly what the idea behind being a category architect creates, right? That's what it is.
And if
I
you
mean,
want to hear,
sometimes that's how you keep yourself movited too. I mean, if you're building
For
a
sure.
business or you're an entrepreneur and you're at it for a decade or two,
doing the same thing, yeah,
it can get boring. You need to keep yourself excited. When you're purposeful, it can evolve. It can, and you have a category, you're trying to own it, and expand something and create meaning. It's a whole different game, even for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear more on this concept, we do touch on it a bit in our podcast episode with Bruce Cleveland. Check that out. It's a great episode. Until then, we're going to talk about the concierge fractional CMO coming up. How high empathy, high intention marketing teams are delivering next level value to purpose-driven brands. So until then, build with love, lead with purpose, and keep marketing with meaning. Thanks for listening to the Bliss Business Podcast.